What is going on, people? Welcome to the weekly Power City live stream. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Power City ecosystem and things that are coming down the pipe. So with no further ado, let me bring up my partner in crime, Mr. Just Ask Jesse in the house.
Yo, what's going on, everyone?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. 4th of June, sorry, here, halfway through the year. It's gone quite fast. How are things looking for you with what we've done and how the ecosystem is growing?
Slow and steady for everything Pulse Chain. While this bull market, ramps up, there's always more and more exciting things happening in the crypto space that seem to be quite favorable for crypto, which is part of how the bull runs happen. I do want to give a shout out to Crypto Coffee and Bar Chef and the Pulse Chain Foundation and all the contributors to the cause of getting Pulse listed on a major exchange. Great job in those efforts, all community driven, and it turned out quite well. And we've got some cool things that we're doing that go hand in hand with that.
So so obviously we know PLS is being listed on a big exchange. That is going to integrate into one of our dApps. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So MEXC is a central exchange, and you always hear true DeFi people say don't store your tokens on an exchange. But what having a major cryptocurrency listed on an exchange does is it gives an avenue for people to purchase it, to see that it even exists. There are thousands or millions rather of people that are into crypto that start their journey or even prefer to trade on exchanges for their own reasons, right? So when you go to an exchange and you see all these popular coins that are on a run and everybody's heard of, and you don't see the one that you like, which happens to be Pulse, it kind of sucks a little bit because you do want your thing to get seen by all these people. So to make that happen, there's a lot of communications that has to occur. Some documents that have to get signed. That's why that foundation, kind of took the role in getting that ball started. And then sometimes some funding that has to occur to grow those pools over on those exchanges. And once all that happens, bam, now you can have your favorite coin listed and seen by millions of people around the world. That doesn't mean that millions of people get to use that exchange. For example, MEXC is not available to United States citizens. Leverage trading, there's laws against certain kind of leverage trading, which MEXC offers leverage trading. Therefore, their platform is unavailable to like U.S. citizens. That doesn't mean, however, that the liquidity can't be accessed using DeFi applications or providers inside of Portal X, which is our cross-chain swap aggregator. So, for example, now that there's an exchange that Pulse is listed and can be traded for ETH, it can be traded for Bitcoin, it can be traded across all these other cryptos, the providers that are inside of Portal X can tap into that. And now even DeFi users have the same abilities using DeFi apps. And you don't even see it happening in front of your eyes, but you could be doing a trade through Portal X, for example, and it's routing through the liquidity that MEXC has, which allows people to more easily come in from all sorts of other blockchains straight into Pulse Chain. Right. So we're in the process right now of incorporating that liquidity with our providers. We're going to see how that goes. The liquidity is quite a bit deeper than we've seen other providers be willing to put up. So perhaps the rates for certain swaps will get better, which will make it, again, more enticing for people to come into Pulse Chain.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the people that hardcore DeFi proponents and don't want PLS on it, centralized exchanges or whatever, you're between a rock and a hard place, because we need centralized exchanges. We need more places where people can buy it. There's a steep learning curve coming into DeFi, right? Not everyone knows how to use a DEX or a self-custody wallet or a hardware wallet. So a lot of the time, I think probably everyone at some point who started in crypto started by buying maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum on a centralized exchange. So the fact that we have more options now like that, and then obviously we can, PortalX Swap is going to utilize that, like you said, more liquidity than other providers as well, then there'll be less slippage as well, I'm guessing, for people coming into Pulse Chain, correct?
Yeah. So what people will notice right now, for example, with PortalX, is if you wanted to trade, some AVAX coin or something to Pulse, you've got a little range in there where the slippage is great, 1,000 or maybe $1,500 worth, and that's about it. There are people sometimes that want to come into Pulse Chain that have $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, and the liquidity is just not there for that. Okay, tapping into a central exchange, however, changes that ball game completely, where now people can come in with bigger amounts of value, and it should go well. Let's see how it goes.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That's great news, and well done. Shout out again to Crypto Coffee and everyone who was involved in that. Was it the Pulse Chain Foundation who have sorted that out? So hats off to everyone on the Pulse Chain in the Pulse Chain ecosystem who are building and developing and doing stuff like that. Moving on, the Flex protocol's been live for probably around 5 to 6 weeks now. We still have some LP, obviously we have LP staking that's going to be live for 369 days since the start of the protocol, and that's obviously still going on now. So maybe we could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so there's ways to earn Flex tokens. You can stake LP tokens. You see here, you can go to PulseX and provide some Hex DC and some Hex, bring those LP tokens back, stake them, and you'll get a yield of 37% in Flex tokens, which can also be staked for fees. Or the Flex Hex pool, or the PulseX earn pool, which is an extension of some rewards from the Earn protocol that we just carried over into Flex protocol. So there's LP rewards you can get, all paid out in Flex token, and of course the existing stability pool you can stake into, and the staking pool you can stake into inside of these protocols. There is likely going to be a new stable pool that appears in Flux.io, which will contain all the core favorites, the Bridged-in, Big Three, DAI, USDC, USDT, and then the popular USDL, PXDC, and HexDC. So like a big 6 stable pool. Not sure on the name of that yet. It might be called the whole stable pool. But be on the lookout for that new pool, because that's also going to have some rewards that are going to be pumped out to those providers.
Awesome. As we know, you like your stable coin yield. So the more options, the better, right?
Yeah, I mean, stablecoin yield is, it's just slow 20. We'll say 10 to 30% yield. Depending on how many other people are in the pools. That's a very healthy return. You'll never see at a bank, and just holding stables to do that is, in my opinion, a great play to be in.
Absolutely. Rather than just sitting in your wallet and doing nothing, you can put them in a stablecoin pool, and obviously, like you said, between 10 and 30%, which is kind of unthinkable compared to TradFi or legacy finance. Talking about touching on the LP staking, I made a video on this. I want to touch on this again. Obviously, you can see the Hex DC and Hex LP staking pair, and the Flex and Hex staking pair. And obviously, you can provide liquidity for that. Obviously, but the PLS X and Earn LP staking pair isn't available anymore to farm Earn tokens, but we've kind of revived it from the dead right here. So I made a video on this recently. Obviously, you can see I've done a little bit here as an example, but you can still provide liquidity for the PLSX and earn pair and take that PLP token back into the Flex protocol and then also farm Flex tokens. So it's not just the Flex Hex and the Hex DC and Hex LP pair. We've also got a video that I made recently, and I'd like to touch on this again over on the POWERCITY core, which is the collector tab. As we can see here, we're on the POWERCITY core dashboard, and at the moment we have 3 dApps feeding fees into here. We have the Earn protocol, the Flex protocol, and we have PortalX Swap as well. So if we come up to this collector tab here.
Well, go back a second, just so people get a perspective on what they're collecting. You see that tab that says 7 tokens, reward tokens?
Yeah.
All right. So when you're in here and you're staked up, you're collecting PXDC, Rep Pulse, PulseX, Loan Token, USDL, HexDC, and Hex. That's a lot of tokens, and it's not going to end there because we have other things we're launching. So you'll see that climb up to 8, 9, 10 different tokens. Remember, everything we build, the fees flow back to the stakers, either in the protocol itself or some, if not all, of the fees flowing to the stakers in the core.
I mean, what's great about the Flex protocol is you could be collecting fees from multiple different places, right? Because you could be collecting fees in the Flex protocol itself by doing one of the multiple ways to get yield, or you could be and you could be staking your WAT tokens or PLP tokens in the core and collecting fees there too, right?
Absolutely, in both places. Yep.
So as we touched on before, we have the collector tab where people are coming in and you can manually call this function. People are doing this all the time. So the fees might be, we can see a small amount of fees here because people are coming here and pushing the button all the time. But anyone can come in here, push this collect fees button, manually run this. And if you're a staker in the core, then you'll see there'll be some rewards for you to claim. So as we said, sorry, Jesse, go for it.
Yes. So look at that. There's 1,788,036 PulseX just waiting to be distributed across to all the stakers. As soon as somebody hits that collect fees and signs that transaction, those get dispersed proportionally to all the stakers, and then they can claim them straight to their wallet, for example.
So we've got the Earn protocol, the Flex protocol, PortalX Swap, as I said earlier. We've also got, as Jesse touched on, other dApps coming down the pipe, Amplifier, the automated front end, which is going to be available for liquid loans, Earn, and Flex protocol, Pixel Park, NFT marketplace, and some other things that we can't talk about too much at the moment. But there are other dApps coming. And as we said, all the fees from a portion of the fees will be going to the core stakers. So anyone can be coming in here and pushing that button and distributing fees. And it's going to be nice, isn't it, to see even just the fact that, whatever's there, you push that button and then you see there's more rewards to collect.
Yeah, look at the right. It says reward pool, $173,028. And that's just going to keep going up and up and up, eventually $1 million, $2 million, $5 million dollars worth of fees will have flown to the stakers, and that just never ends. The bigger you are, the more that you get. It's all completely proportional, by the way.
Yep. So as we've talked about before, what PLP stakers, which is the LP token, gets a 1.5 bonus over what. So let's talk about that, Jesse, because people might not understand why you'd get more than being a WAT staker.
Yeah. So typically when you liquidity provide, you're subject to impermanent loss. So when you liquidity provide, for example, on PulseX, you typically will want to find a pool where you're rewarded, you're compensated, your impermanent loss is offset by something being given to you. And like in PulseX, for example, many of the pools, the Richard Hart type pools, you're compensated by being given incentive token, right? Which will offset your impermanent loss. And then you can sell that or do whatever you want with that, right? And you're kind of made whole. The impermanent loss doesn't make you wrecked or in the red because you're given something additional. Well, we didn't want to create just an arbitrary token that had no use case, that we had to figure out a crazy kick the can around sort of use case for. We wanted our protocol as simple as possible where, hey, look, we're going to build on top of Richard Hart's ecosystem, give these utilities to people, charge a fee, and the fees flow to the core. But we need liquidity. We'd like the community to really provide that liquidity as much as possible and make this a community-driven protocol. So, like, do we give them another token? Do we create a third token just to emit out to them and have to figure out a crazy use case? And instead, we had this epiphany. Ourselves and our devs were like, why not just do a share rate? And the fees, the quantity of fees will be bigger or smaller based on people who liquidity provide, right? So if you come in and you are an LP staker, you stake your LP tokens, the system will look at the value of LP you've provided essentially, and it's going to give you a 1.5 bonus, a 1.5x bonus in Watt. You'll be collecting more of the fees than you would if you had just come in and staked Watt directly, right? So if you come in and stake Watt directly versus coming in and staking your PLP tokens, you're going to have a bigger AMP share rate by staking LP tokens. That's you being compensated and being given something extra for being an LP provider, providing value to the system, putting yourself at some sort of risk out there because you're putting two tokens up. You're putting Pulse and Watt together in a pool. And then you're staking those, but you're also now collecting more of the fees than you would have otherwise. And that also makes it so we don't have to have a token that's constantly inflating. A token that we don't have to worry about, like there's no additional token that we have to worry about any price action or anything like that. Since the system is all fee-based, and it's just the fees from these tools flowing in here, all that becomes irrelevant. You're an LP provider? Look, the fees are whatever they are from the usage of people out there, and you're going to collect a bonus, 1.5x, because you're an LP provider. And we thought that system would be more sustainable than just an extra token that inflated and we had to pay out to people. And, hear about people griping about the chart or this or that. We did away with all that. You just get a bonus on the fees.
Awesome. So there you go, 1.5x if you're going to provide liquidity and then take your PLP tokens into the core. And last one before we wrap it up, Taran's asking about Amplifier. Are we getting close with that?
We are getting very close. So the audits are done. We're wrapping up some final things on the front end work, the interface. It's been through lots of different testing. And the first thing that you'll see pretty shortly, hopefully in the next couple weeks, is going to be an amplifier on top of the liquid loans protocol. So it'll be a front end that makes it very easy for you to claim your various rewards and fees and stuff inside that protocol, either automatically or through one click of a button, and then have all those fees go exactly where you predetermined that you wanted them to go. So it should be a pretty cool tool that saves people a lot of time. Just wrapping up some stuff on the front end for that. So pretty soon.
Good stuff, man. So we've touched on MEX C, listing PLS and how we're going to utilize that into PortalX Swap and obviously some other yield options in the PowerCity ecosystem. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this one up?
No, I think that's it. Stay positive out there, y'all. Don't let the X negativity out there. Look, sometimes the price charts go down on Pulse, and then everyone hates each other, and then it goes back up, and everybody's best friends again. Just walk away. Okay, life will go on. Hopefully, you're not invested in something where it affects your mental health. All this stuff should end up doing well in time. Be patient, get the word out there, and enjoy life.
Wise words as always, Jesse. Thank you.
See y'all.
Guys, and if you're interested in using the Earn protocol, the Flex protocol, or the core and PortalX Swap, you can find the links in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.